Good evening. My name is Eric Dorsey, Transportation Planner at the Connecticut Department of Transportation. Tonight, we are here to present State Project 173440, Buckland and Spencer Street Park and Ride Transit Amenity Upgrades in the town of Manchester. The intent of tonight's meeting is for the design team to present the project and to solicit questions or feedback from the public on the preliminary design prior to moving forward with the final design phase. For those of you who are dialing in tonight or are unable to see this presentation live on Microsoft Teams or YouTube, feel free to visit our project webpage at portal.ct.gov/DOT Manchester 170-3440 for more information on the project. The agenda for tonight's meeting will begin with a brief introduction of the design team. We will then provide some instructions on how to pose a question in this virtual meeting. We will then provide an overview of the two sections of the proposed project. We will then discuss anticipated project impacts. Finally, we will present the project schedule and cost, and then open it up to questions. And now, a brief introduction to the design team. Oversight of State Project 173440 is being provided by the Connecticut Department of Transportation. STV Incorporated is serving as the prime consultant, providing traffic design, drainage design, and transit amenity design for this project. They are supported by VN engineers who will be handling the environmental permitting and utilities coordination. Finally, CT Transit, who is a transit operator in the CT Transit Hartford division and provides transit service to both project sites, is a project partner as well, and a representative from CT Transit will be available tonight to answer any questions regarding operational impacts from this project. The project team for the Connecticut Department of Transportation consists of Lisa Rivers as project manager, Maureen Lawrence as transit manager, myself, Eric Dorsey, as project engineer. Presenting tonight from STV Incorporated is Tony Bonagora, project lead, Michael Kowalczyk, traffic engineer, and joining us tonight from VN Engineering is Larry Cafaro, project engineer. Also from CT Transit, Brian McLaughlin, planning administrator, is in attendance as well. We would greatly appreciate it if you could fill out a brief survey that the department has through SurveyMonkey. A virtual public informational meeting platform is still a relatively new one for the department, and this survey will help the department improve these public meetings going forward. If you would like to take the survey, you can access it at www.surveymonkey.com/r/PQH7WTC. There is also a civil rights flyer available. Both the links to the survey and civil rights flyer are located on the previously mentioned project webpage. And lastly, we would like to inform you that as part of the Title VI Civil Rights Act, no person shall, on the basis of race, color, or national origin, be from participation or subject to discrimination in the development of this project. If you are viewing through Microsoft Teams, you can post a question or a comment by clicking the little question mark to the top right of the presentation window and clicking the My Questions tab or the Ask a Question button. You then have an option to enter your name and type your question in the Ask a Question field. Click the checkbox to post anonymously, and click the double arrow or hit Enter to post a question. Click Feature to view announcements and attendee questions. You may experience a delay before your own sent question is posted. You can exit the questions window by clicking X and can return to it at any time by clicking the Show Q&A question mark. Click the My Questions tab to post another question, X to close the window again. To maximize the presentation window, click the arrow bottom right of the presentation window and click the arrow again to reduce the window size. Now with the formalities aside, let's get into a discussion of the project. And for that, I will now have our project lead, Tony Bonagora, take over to lead this discussion.
Thank you, Eric. As indicated, my name is Tony Bonagora, and I'm with STV. I am the senior planner and project lead. Also joining me from STV is Mike Kowalczyk, who is a civil traffic engineer. And from VN Engineers is Larry Cafaro, who's also a civil engineer. This assignment consists of improvements to the existing bus stops located in the town of Manchester at the Buckland Street and Spencer Street park and rides, with new state-of-the-art Connecticut Transit bus stops. The new bus stops will provide safer and more comfortable passenger experiences. The Buckland Street Park and Ride is located near the Buckland Hills Mall and is accessible from exit 62 on 84. And the Spencer Street Park and Ride is located near the Manchester Community College and is accessible from exit 1 on I-384. The first project to be presented tonight is the Buckland Street Park and Ride. The Park and Ride is located at the corner of Buckland Street and Pleasant Valley Road and was built in the mid-1980s. Today, the Park and Ride is improved with 3 side entrances, 2 from Buckland Street and 1 from Pleasant Valley Road. And it is currently served by 3 existing bus stops. 2 bus stops are located within the Park and Ride, Stop A along the north parking lot edge and Stop B along the south parking lot edge. The 3rd bus stop is located on Buckland Street, south entrance, and serves local buses that do not currently enter the lot. The Park and Ride is improved with parking lot lighting and has a maximum capacity of 694 parking spaces and is typically filled to only half capacity on an average. The 1980 approval included the ability to expand the parking lot to accommodate an additional 140 spaces along the western edge of the lot. The proposed improvements to the Park and Ride consist of replacing the 3 existing bus stops with the new Connecticut Transit double platform bus stop located in the middle of the parking lot on axis with the Pleasant Valley Road entrance. All local routes will now use the new Park and Ride bus stop, allowing easy transfers from local to express buses. In addition to the bus stops, the Park and Ride is improved with an expanded bus layover area located east of the Pleasant Valley Road entrance, new sidewalks from all 3 entrances, electric car charging stations, which can serve up to 4 vehicles located along the east parking lot edge, plus new bike stands, internal signage, and new parking lot striping. To offset the loss of parking, an additional row of paved parking stalls was added along the west parking lot edge, as well as a gravel overflow lot. Gravel was chosen for the overflow lot as a quality measure. This additional parking all falls within the 1980 approved parking lot expansion area. The new double platform bus stop will consist of 2 18-foot wide by 160-foot long bus stop platforms. Along the total length of the bus platforms are 2 12-foot wide bus dwelling areas, which is where buses load and unload passengers. 2 12-foot wide bypass travel lanes are also provided to allow buses to maneuver through the bus stop. The east and west platforms will be divided by a 2-foot center island. Each bus platform is designed to accommodate up to 3 buses. The bus platforms will be concrete at a height of 6 inches and will be faced with granite curbs. Between the platforms, concrete pavement is proposed for the bus bypass lanes and colored concrete pavement for the bus dwelling areas. Pedestrians will enter the bus stop platforms at the north and south ends, as well as in the middle. Handicap parking will be provided next to each platform. In front of the handicap spaces, a 5-foot wide flush concrete sidewalk is provided. This sidewalk will lead to accessible pedestrian to take you up to the platform. Passenger vehicles will be prohibited from entering the designated bus areas, which will be supported by signage, pavement markings, and a change in pavement. This centralized bus stop with raised platforms, new sidewalks, and crosswalks will increase passenger visibility and safety while walking through the parking lot and waiting to board. To further improve safety and reduce conflicts with buses, fencing will be installed along the center island to prohibit pedestrians from crossing mid-platform. And fencing will also be installed along the rear of the platform to guide passengers to the end or middle entrances. Additional pedestrian lighting will be added to each platform. Each bus platform will be improved with 2 heated 6-foot wide by 25-foot long bus shelters, as well as 2 Smart Stop e-readers, which display real-time bus arrivals, 1 kiosk, 1 emergency blue light call box, and several benches and trash and recyclable containers. Here is a perspective view of the bus platforms looking toward Pleasant Valley Road. It highlights the colored concrete bus dwelling areas and 6-inch platform height, as well as many of the site amenities, such as the safety fencing, pedestrian lighting, emergency blue light call boxes, and bus shelters. To support the proposed improvements, the electric service located at the Buckland Street North entrance will be upgraded, and new telephone and internet service to support the emergency blue light call boxes and e-readers will be provided from Buckland Street South entrance. Stormwater management will continue to use the existing drainage system that connects to Pleasant Valley Road. Drainage swells located along the south property line drain approximately half the paved area to a detention pond called Buggy Stowe Pond, which is located on state-owned land to the south of the park and ride. The remaining parking area drains to the west and is collected by catch basins located in the park and ride and within the I-84 off-ramp right-of-way. These catch basins and the outlet from Buggy Stowe Pond drain to the Pleasant Valley Road storm system via a 42-inch storm pipe that crosses the site in a northwest direction. The total increase in impervious area remains less than what was approved as part of the 1980 design. However, we are adding vegetated swells along the west parking lot edge that will provide storage for the added impervious area and promote stormwater infiltration and water quality. During construction, service to the 3 bus stops will be maintained throughout the construction phase. To do this, the center portion of the site will be fenced off during the construction of the new bus stop, and one-way circulation will be implemented around the construction zone. Parking that is displaced by construction activities will be redirected to the underutilized southeast corner of the park and ride. A safe environment and access to the park and ride and all adjacent businesses will always be maintained. The second project to be presented is the Spencer Street Park and Ride. The Spencer Street Park and Ride is located at the intersection of Spencer Street, Cemetery Road, and the I-384 westbound exit 1 off-ramp. The Park and Ride is currently served by 1 bus stop that receives Connecticut Transit and local buses in the AM and upon request in the PM. The Park and Ride is improved with parking lot lighting and 249 existing parking spaces. Supporting the Park and Ride are 2 bus stops located just east and west of the Spencer Street intersection that also receive Connecticut Transit and local buses throughout the day. These bus stops are marked with signage and have no other amenities. A 4-foot wide asphalt sidewalk connects the southwest corner of the Park and Ride to the bus stops and intersection. Pedestrians cross Spencer Street concurrently with the southbound traffic to get to the eastbound bus stop. Today, there is no marked crosswalk over Spencer Street. This assignment consists of the construction of 2 upgraded state-of-the-art Connecticut Transit bus stops to be located on Spencer Street. The new bus stops are designed to replace the existing bus stops located both on Spencer Street and within the Park and Ride. Within the Park and Ride, the existing bus stop will be removed and the parking lot will be milled and repaved. Handicap parking spaces will be relocated to the southeast corner of the lot to be closer to the new bus stops. Electric car charging stations located adjacent to the handicap spaces will be provided, which can serve up to 4 vehicles. Currently, there is 249 spaces. With the removal of the bus stop, this will be increased by 28 spaces to 277 total spaces. From the southeast east corner of the park and ride, 2 new 8-foot wide concrete sidewalks and a small landscape plaza will provide access to the new bus stops, and a 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk will be added along Cemetery Road from the park and ride entrance to the northwest corner of the intersection. The new Spencer Street bus stops will maintain their current locations, which allows buses to pass through the light before stopping to pick up or discharge passengers. Both stops will continue to be on-street stops. However, the roadway shoulders are widened to give passing vehicles extra room to maneuver around stopped buses. At the westbound bus stop, the shoulder will be increased from 2.5 feet to 5 feet. This will provide a 10-foot wide by 120-foot long bus dwelling area, which can accommodate city and articulated buses. Again, a dwelling area is where the buses load and unload passengers. Centered on the bus dwelling area is a 19-foot wide by 45-foot long bus stop platform, which is flanked by an 8-foot wide concrete sidewalk leading to the northwest corner of the intersection, and a 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk connected to the existing sidewalk, which heads west toward the East Coast Greenway multi-use trail. At the eastbound bus stop, the shoulder will be increased from 1 foot to 4 feet, and a 10-foot wide by 120-foot long bus dwelling area is also provided. Centered on the bus dwelling area is a 16-foot wide by 21-foot long bus stop platform, which is flanked by an 8-foot wide concrete sidewalk leading from the intersection to the bus platform, and a 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk leading east from the bus platform toward the adjacent Wendy's restaurant. The Spencer Street Cemetery Road intersection will be improved with new crosswalks and accessible sidewalk ramps. Pedestrian signals will be added at all 4 approaches to the intersection and will operate on a new exclusive pedestrian phase. The intersection will also be improved with a new catch basin, which will be added to the northwest corner of the intersection to address existing ponding. Again, these bus stop, sidewalk, and crosswalk enhancements will increase passenger safety and visibility while crossing the intersection or waiting to board. The westbound bus stop platform will be improved with an 8-foot wide by 16-foot long heated bus shelter, plus a Connecticut Fast Track ID sign, 1 kiosk, 1 Smart Stop e-reader, which will display real-time bus arrivals, 1 bicycle rack, benches, and trash and recyclable containers. Pedestrian lighting will also be added on the westbound side at the bus stop and along the sidewalks leading from the park and ride. The eastbound bus stop platform will be improved with the 5-foot wide by 10-foot long bus shelter, 1 Smart Stop e-reader, and 1 wood bench. Also visible in this isometric are the new crosswalks, accessible sidewalk ramps, and pedestrian signals proposed for the intersection. This next slide shows the perspective of the westbound bus stop and many of the proposed amenities, such as the new bus shelter, pedestrian lighting, kiosk, and bike racks. And in the distance, the proposed landscape plaza, southeast corner of the park and ride. The westbound bus stop requires the relocation of the utility pole, which falls within the bus platform area. The existing park and ride electrical service and cabinet will be upgraded to provide power for the westbound bus stop amenities, pedestrian lighting, and electric car charging stations. Smart Stop e-readers at both bus stops will use a cellular modem to avoid adding networking lines. Stormwater management will continue to use the existing I-384 drainage system. Since the proposed improvements will maintain current flow patterns and impervious area will only marginally increase, stormwater detention is not required. However, the existing system will be cleaned and new stormwater quality measures will be implemented to improve the overall water quality within the watershed. Where possible, asphalt swales will be converted to vegetated swales, and rip-wrap aprons to slow and disperse water flow will be added at the 2 outlet structures serving the park and ride. Construction will begin at the eastbound bus stop. followed by the intersection and cemetery road improvements. Then the westbound bus stop. And finally, the park and ride. During construction, bound and westbound bus stops, passengers will be detoured to the existing bus stops located at the Woodcraft Store and ShopRite Supermarket, approximately 1 block to the east. Customer notices will be posted in advance of construction. Handicap accessible parking and pedestrian access to active bus stops will always be maintained, and Spencer Street will maintain 2 lanes of traffic in both directions throughout construction. The project design and advertising phase is scheduled to be completed in the fall of 2022, with construction starting in the spring and ending in the fall of 2023. The estimated cost for Buckland Street is $2.4 million, and for Spencer Street, $1.5 million. Both projects are 80% federally funded and 20% state funded. This concludes our presentation of the proposed improvements for the Buckland Street and Spencer Street park and rides. I will turn the public hearing back over to Eric for questions and answers.
Thank you, Tony. And thank you very much to everyone watching for your attention and for your interest in this project. At this time, we are happy to answer any questions that may have arisen through the chat. On the screen are the various ways that you can contact the design team if you have any additional questions following this meeting. We're going to start with our first question. We did receive a voicemail question prior to the meeting referencing safe bike and pedestrian access that are feeding into these sites. Tony, would you like to take this one?
So in reference to the voicemail question about safe bike and pedestrian access feeding into these lots. So today there's 8-foot wide asphalt sidewalks that are located along Buckland Street and Pleasant Valley Road. As part of this project, we're bringing those 8-foot sidewalks into the park and ride at all 3 entrances with new ADA accessible concrete sidewalks that lead pedestrians through the parking lot to the new bus stops. We also provide new bike racks located adjacent to the bus stop and the Pleasant Valley Road entrance. Unfortunately, this project does not extend beyond the park and ride property, so we did not improve bicycle routes leading to the park and ride. However, there is a 2017 Connecticut Bicycle and Pedestrian Transportation Plan that addresses this statewide.
Okay, thank you, Tony. The next question is, we did receive an email regarding if electric car charging stations will be provided. Lisa, are you able to answer this question?
So the question is whether electric car charging stations will be provided?
Yes.
Yes, electric car charging stations will be provided in both of the park and ride lots. We're going to be installing 4 positions with electric car charging.
Great, thank you.
Eric, I see a question asking how long the project is expected to take, and will the sites be worked on concurrently or consecutively?
Yes, Lisa. So the project will start estimated in spring of 2023 and is anticipated to take to the fall of 2023. And at this time, it's not confirmed, but we do believe the projects will be worked on concurrently. Okay, we have another question coming in. How much will the project cost, and who pays for it? So as Tony mentioned on the current slide showing here, or just now, Buckland will cost, it looks like, about $2.8 million. And then Tony, if you could pull up that slide quickly, the previous slide. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it would be, yeah, Buckland will cost approximately $2.4 million. Spencer will cost $1.5 million. And this project right now is going to be funded with 80% federal funds and 20% state funds. And I do want to mention, as mentioned before, for those who are new to the live event Q&A, we are answering these questions verbally because when the meeting is recorded, the chat will not be displayed. So it's important that we state verbally the responses and we state verbally your questions so that they can be verbally available for the project record. And just a reminder to everyone, the recording will be available within 5 business days on the project website. And if you want to access the video, you can access it through our project website. The link is at portal.ct.gov/DOT Manchester 170-3440 if you want to view the presentation. So we have another question that just came in. It asks, how will traffic be impacted during construction along Spencer Street? I believe, Mike, you might be able to answer that. If I can,
yes.
I can't.
So Eric,
okay. Yes.
So we understand that there is a lot of congestion, particularly in the PM peak hour. So we're going to be limiting our construction to strictly the shoulder, and we'll be keeping 2 lanes of traffic in each direction open at all times. So there should really be no impacts to traffic during construction.
Okay, great. Thank you. And as you can see, we did just post the project webpage in the Q&A if you need access to it. Let's see. So we have a repeat of the installation for charging stations. Let's see.
Eric, this question, this is Lisa again. This appears to ask if the customer pays for charging, and if so, how much? This is actually our first time installing electric charging stations, and I think that what will happen is when the project is being installed and we're getting ready to open, we're going to see what the current market is for paying for charging.
Great, thank you, Lisa. And I just placed in the Q&A a link to our survey. We would love to get your feedback for this public info meeting. You can visit this link in the Q&A and let us know what you think. This link is also available for those of you on YouTube under the Show More button. You can click it and just let us know what you think about the virtual platform. Okay. And we did just get in another email question, and the question is, what is a vegetated swale and how does it work? I believe Larry from VN might be able to answer this one. Larry?
Hi, Eric. Yes, of course. Yep. So a vegetated swale is a ground depression or channel that contains flood-tolerant, erosive-resistant plants. Vegetated swales promote the conveyance of stormwater at a slower controlled rate and acts as a filter for removing pollutants and allowing stormwater infiltration and retention. Additionally, vegetated swales are generally adjacent to impervious surfaces, so in this case, the park and ride, and can provide an aesthetic value to any given site.
Great, thank you, Larry. We did just get a new question. There's a question that says, will there be temporary bus stops on Spencer Street during construction? I believe Brian from CT Transit, you might be able to answer this one.
Sure thing. On Spencer Street, first off, the service to the park and ride lot itself will continue to operate as it does now up until the completion of the project and the opening of the 2 new bus stops out on Spencer Street. The 2 existing stops, the one in front of Wendy's and the one in front of the park and ride lot, are going to be closed for construction one at a time. During that time, customers will be directed to the next adjacent bus stop. For the westbound folks, that would be the bus stop over in front of Woodcraft. And for eastbound folks, it would be the bus stop over at the ShopRite Plaza.
Okay, great. Thank you, Brian. Looks like a new question just came in. Does the town of Manchester support this project? I guess I can briefly answer that. The town of Manchester has been working with our project team throughout the duration of this project, and they have, announced much great support for the project. And so, yes, they overall they do support this project, and they will be continuing to work with us as we move this project along from design to construction. And again, for those of you who are on mute on our team's live event, we are just sharing the video tonight here and verbally responding to questions. We aren't showing any video now of any of our participants, mainly to save bandwidth. So thank you for your consideration, and we love to hear from you. As you can see, I did put the survey link towards the end of our comment period on here shortly. So we are going to be closing the meeting shortly, but we did want to reach out one last time to see if there are any additional questions or feedback, and we would love to hear from you. Actually, as I said that, we do have another question that came in, and the question is, what kind of information will be available on the tablet e-readers? Lisa, do you want to answer this question?
Sure, Eric. The e-readers are going to be providing real-time information on the bus arrival times, and they're designed to be easy to read. So they're kind of like a paper white screen. So there's no glare from sunlight on it. They will have a light overhead, solar charged light overhead, so that it'll still be visible at night for our customers.
Okay, great. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so just so you know, we have our comment period available till December 2nd of the end of this year, and which is about 2 weeks from now. And we would love to hear from you about the meeting and take our survey. As I mentioned, our survey link is www.surveymonkey.com/r/PQH7WTC, and we would love to hear from you. And again, the comment period is available till December 2nd, so there's other times to provide comments via email, or you can leave us a voicemail at 860-944-1111, and our email address is dotproject170-3440@ct.gov. And if you're going to leave a voicemail, please indicate the project number, which again is 170-3440. I want to thank you guys so much for coming out to participate. I'm Eric Dorsey, and I hope everyone has a good night.